Yo, what's up? So we have 3 current banners going on right now. So if you're someone that don't know who to spend it on, hopefully I can help you out with that. First things first, disclaimer, if it's an Esper that you like and you want to summon for them just because of that, go right ahead. No one is stopping you. It is a game after all. I keep reminding you this. If you're not having fun on a game, then why even bother playing it, right? So if you like that unit, go for it. Right now, I'm just gonna give you my opinion on all 3 and who you should go for. Number 1, Valeria. Completely skip her. She doesn't really offer anything to you aside from a single target DPS, but she doesn't really cycle all that well unless you have her at R2. And Daddy Free to Play has already showcased her power reserve, which will expire when the ally takes a turn. So it's not even that good. Unlike Lotus Mark from SNF, you can use her for Chrono Speedrun if you're trying to get like a unique team comp by replacing Xiao Yin with her. But again, Xiao Yin is a lot better DPS for Chronos than her. So yeah, I would completely skip her. Don't go for her R0 nor her R2. She doesn't really offer anything to your account. Now with Brewster and Embla, let's take a look at their resonances. Brewster, his R2, he gains the reload attack stacks, 3 stacks of them at the start of combat. And then this one is his R4 when attacking while not in own turn, damage plus 15%. And then his R6 new, his S1 when the target's max HP is above Brewster, damage plus 10%. Attack deals splash damage to 1 random enemy, splash equals to 50% of attack. With Embla, her R2, the auto detonation of Corrupted Seed also damages the targets other than a carrier, which is 150% of caster's attack. And then her R4 is when an elemental advantage, damage plus 15%. And her R6 is now, instead of 8 stacks, it's now a 5 stacks. And per stack it gives her 60% damage, right? In my opinion, if you don't have enough wish stones to R2 either Brewster or Embla, I would completely skip both of them. So in a situation where you only have enough wish stones to either R0 or R1 them, completely skip them. The reason why is they are both in the wish pool, so you're not in a hurry to go for their R0 or R1. And the reason why you don't want to go for their R0 or R1, they're not good at their base form except for Embla. Embla is good at R0 to go up against bossing contents, but for Brewster, he's not really that good. His main appeal is his R2, which gives him the 3 reload attack stats, right? So, and yeah, that's the first situation. If you don't have enough wish stones to R2 them immediately, skip them. But if you have enough wish stones to R2 either Brewster or Embla, in my opinion, you should go for Brewster. Brewster is more widely used than Embla, and let me just show you. Currently, I am running my R2 Brewster on my fastest APAP team, which is 9 turns. On average, he's used in my APAP team, and once I get a Leora, I will put Brewster in my Kronos team as well. So in the Ritual Miracle, he has 2 spots, which is going to be part of the fastest team for either APAP or Kronos. And the reason why is because when he starts with the reload attack stacks, he does not need to take his turn before landing the defense break. And that's why R2 Brewster is so appealing for turn count contents, right? So this leaderboard contents, R2 Brewster is going to be amazing. For Embla, she is only used for APAP and she's not part of the fastest APAP team. She's good, but I have a 11 turn team with Embla, but it's not mandatory to run Embla. Whereas R2 Brewster is pretty much mandatory to go for APAP speedruns. And then for DISLYTE Lens, I do use my R2 Brewster in Shadow Gale, which is going to be running this team. And this team is pretty good. The average is like 17 million or something like that. Yeah, it's about 16 million average, not bad. I don't use Brewster on any of the other 2, so only 1 for Shadow Gale, but Embla is not used in any of this game mode. Okay, so currently we don't have a trial going on, but for trials, and what I mean by trial is the trial challenge that we get every patch with the new Esper releases. For Brewster, he's going to excel. He's like almost irreplaceable for trial contents that are turn-based, because R2 Brewster is a massive proponent for you to go up against this turn count limit trials. For example, the one with wave clearing, the Javiet trial, who else? I think it was a Leora trial. Those type of contents, R2 Brewster is going to be massive. And for bossing contents as well, he is also sometimes good. In the previous trial, which is the Valeria trial, I used a Brewster comp which netted me around like 5 million, and I got like rank 8 worldwide using him instead of Embla. So yeah, he's really good in bossing contents and wave clearing content. For Embla, she's only going to be good for single target bosses and for bosses with minions. She's really good for those type of trials, but for wave clearing content trials, she is not really that good because she is a single target Esper and she doesn't really offer much to you. She has that AoE with her R2, but you generally don't want to use her AoE because then you would need another Esper to kill off that Esper that she debuff in order to use that AoE for her R2, right? So for the most part, she's not really that good for wave clearing trials. Embla is, however, irreplaceable as a DPS. R2 Embla, what I mean, is irreplaceable in this tower, Infinity Tower contents. She is insanely good. She's the best DPS for this tower contents. You can use her in all of the floors, and yeah, it's like a minute run for each of these floors. For Infinity Tower, no doubt R2 Embla is going to be better, even in Temporal Tower, and in Calamity Tower as well. R2 Embla is going to carry you in this in the Inferno Tower. She's going to make the Inferno Tower the easiest tower out of all 3 of the towers. So yeah, keep that in mind. So what's the ultimatum if you have enough wish stones to R2 either one of these guys? If you're competitive and you want to compete in leaderboard contents, R2 Brewster is going to help you in a lot more of these contents. But if you just want to blitz through like tower contents, R2 Embla is just way better than Brewster. But in my opinion, you should go for R2 Brewster because this game only has so much content that you can go through. Eventually you want to compete in like leaderboard content, so I would advise to just go for like R2 Brewster, right? But if you are in a situation that you have enough to R6 either Brewster or Embla, in my opinion, don't. No Esper in this game is currently worth R6ing, and I have simplified it down to 2 reasons. Number 1, this game is a gacha game, and gacha game meta can always change. Right now, the reason why Brewster is so good and so irreplaceable is because we are in a meta where turn limit or turn count is actually the main focus. Ritual Miracle is based on turn count instead of time limit, so that is why Brewster is a lot more usable than Embla. But if the game decides to go in a direction where time limit is more emphasized, then Embla is going to be better than Brewster. And that is why you never go for an R6 unit unless that unit is beyond broken, without a shadow of a doubt, used in every single piece of content in the game. Then you go for that R6 unit. No unit in the game currently has an R6 usability throughout all of the game modes, and that is why, in my opinion, you should never go for an R6 unit. My second reason is when you go for an R6 unit through wish stones, keep in mind, I'm saying this through wish stones and not through like wishing for the help system or getting them naturally. When you use wish stones, you are accelerating the rate at which you pull that unit at R7. And when you pull that unit at R7, it is completely wasted of a dupe and you want to quit the game even faster. And that is the reason why you should never R6 a unit through wish stones. If you look at my Ggez, right? My Ggez is R4. I kept on wishing for his R4, but now I've actually stopped because I don't want to accelerate the rate of me getting him at R6. He is not an R6 must Esper. He is really good at R0. He doesn't need that R6 effect. When you get him at R6, you will accelerate the rate at which you pull him at R7, and that R7 is going to be completely useless for you. So now I'm actually wishing for Brewster because his Brewster R4 is really good. That's why I've stopped wishing for Ggez. I want Ggez at R6, but I want to pull him naturally at R6, and that's the reason why you never want to use wish stones to R6 a unit unless that unit is very broken OP in every single content in the game, right? So yeah, that's my reasoning. If you have enough to R2, go for Brewster, in my opinion. And if you have enough to R6, go for neither. No unit in the game is worth R6ing using restones. Yeah, hopefully this video is helpful to you. You have 4 days left to decide. But yeah, that's about it.